What if I told you that the greatest quarterback of all time was once considered too slow, too weak, and too average to succeed in the NFL? In the 2000 NFL Draft, Tom Brady sat in a room watching 198 players get selected before him. Six quarterbacks were picked ahead of him, each seen as more talented, more athletic, and more promising. When he was finally drafted by the New England Patriots in the sixth round, 199th overall, few believed he would ever be a starting QB, let alone become the greatest player in NFL history. But what the scouts failed to measure was Brady's mindset, a relentless obsession with improvement, an unshakable belief in himself, and an unstoppable work ethic. This is the story of how Tom Brady went from being overlooked to becoming the greatest quarterback of all time. Tom Brady was born in San Mateo, California in 1977, growing up in a sports-loving family. From an early age, he idolized Joe Montana, dreaming of becoming an NFL quarterback. But there was a problem. He wasn't a natural athlete. In high school, Brady was far from a star. He was slow, had a weak arm, and wasn't even the full-time starter until his junior year. Despite this, he worked tirelessly, focusing on his mental toughness and football IQ, two things that would later define his greatness. He earned a scholarship to play at Michigan, but once again, he had to fight for everything. For 2 years, he sat on the bench, buried on the depth chart. Even when he became the starter, he had to share time with another QB. Scouts saw him as unremarkable, just another guy. When the 2000 NFL Draft rolled around, Brady wasn't even a thought for most teams. His 40-yard dash? Slow. His bench press? Weak. His overall athleticism? Below average. The infamous draft scouting report labeled him as having a poor build, lack of great physical stature, and limited mobility. Result? He fell to the sixth round. When he arrived in New England, Brady was the fourth-string quarterback, buried behind Drew Bledsoe, a former number one, first overall pick. But he had something that stats couldn't measure: his work ethic and his mindset. He trained harder than anyone. He studied film obsessively. He prepared like he was already the starter. And when Drew Bledsoe went down with an injury in 2001, Brady stepped in and never looked back. In just his first season as a starter, Brady led the Patriots to their first ever Super Bowl victory, defeating the heavily favored St. Louis Rams. He wasn't the most talented, but his poise, leadership, and clutch performances in big moments were undeniable. And that was just the beginning. For the next 2 decades, Brady and the Patriots dominated the NFL's 7 Super Bowl championships, more than any NFL franchise. 5 Super Bowl MVPs. 3 league MVPs. Most career passing yards and touchdowns. Most wins by any quarterback in history. Brady built the greatest dynasty the NFL has ever seen, leading historic comebacks, including the legendary 28-3 comeback against the Falcons in Super Bowl 51. He wasn't just winning, he was rewriting history. So what made Tom Brady different? How did he defy Father Time and every odds stacked against him? First, obsessive work ethic. Brady wasn't the most talented, but he was always the most prepared. He studied film obsessively, knowing his opponents better than they knew themselves, and he treated his body like a machine, following the TB12 method to keep playing at an elite level into his 40s. While others relied on natural talent, Brady built his greatness brick by brick. 2. Unbreakable mindset. Brady never forgot being overlooked. He used it as fuel, reminding himself every day that he had something to prove. When people said he was too slow, he became the smartest player on the field. When they said he was too weak, he mastered precision passing. When they said he was too old, he won a Super Bowl at 43. Doubt never stopped him. It drove him. Third, clutch mentality. Brady wasn't just great in regular games. He was unstoppable in big moments. When the pressure was at its highest, Brady stayed calm, locked in, and delivered. At age 44, after 22 seasons, Tom Brady retired as the greatest quarterback in NFL history. He had done what no one thought possible, playing at an MVP level into his 40s, winning more Super Bowls than any franchise, and redefining what was possible for an NFL career. But Brady's legacy is bigger than football. He proved that talent isn't everything. Mindset, discipline, and belief can take you further than anyone imagines. From an overlooked draft pick to the GOAT, Tom Brady's story is the ultimate proof that greatness is built, not given. Brady's story is more than football. It's about proving the world wrong. It's about betting on yourself when no one else does, and it's about outworking, outlasting, and outbelieving everyone. Tom Brady wasn't supposed to be the GOAT, but he refused to accept his limits, and in doing so, he became a legend. What's your favorite Tom Brady moment? Let us know in the comments.